Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I've got your gameplay for the Jaguar GR.1A. This is a rank 7, battle rating 10.0 British strike fighter that is superb in a dogfight. Surprisingly so, being that strike fighters tend to be a little bit hit or miss. But this is excellent. It's got nearly indestructible flaps. At any speed, you can really deploy them, and it is just a wonder that this is still 10.0 BR. I almost kind of feel like it could be at 10.3 BR, but let's not let that secret get out. Anyways, this has four 30mm Aiden cannon, or two 30mm Aiden cannons rather. Whoops, I saw the Mark IV and my brain got confused there. It's got two AIM-9G missiles and up to 60 countermeasures. This is a beast, and it can also carry up to 8 1,000-pound bombs. So this thing can do it all, and the great thing is that because the missiles are mounted up here on top of the wing, a little bit unusual, but also something that you see with the Lightning F-53, for example, with the rocket pods, you can actually mount more bombs underneath the wings, and this does have about 10% more thrust. So as you can see, 3350 with the afterburner and around 3090 with the afterburner for the GR1, not the A. So the A is a little bit more powerful, about 10% more powerful, and unladen at full speed and with all upgrades for speed, you're looking at around a 6-second difference with the Jaguar GR1A to get to 1,000 kilometers per hour over the GR1. I did the testing at 150 meters, and this can actually reach 1,000 kilometers per hour about 6 seconds sooner, or about 10% sooner than the GR1, so in about 56 seconds as opposed to a minute and 2 seconds. But that being said, enough crazy weird things aside, let's get into some battles. I'll just try it with its missiles, try to get a lot of air-to-air kills, go over some strengths and weaknesses, you guys know the deal, and maybe even toss in some bombs as well, but this will be a mostly air RB and dogfighting gameplay video. So for this first match, let's go over some of the strengths and weaknesses of the Jaguar GR1A. Now, as I said before, this is a bit of a slightly more powerful version of the Jaguar GR1. It is better for ground attack, and of course, because it does have more power and countermeasures, it's going to be better in the air RB role as well, just for dogfighting. But in all, they're pretty similar if you just include, or if you look at just the fact that this is a slightly higher BR versus the other Jaguar being slightly lower. I think that this is a little bit better. So rather than being 0.3 BR and having 0.3 BR higher capabilities, feels like it's got 0.4 or 0.5 BR higher capabilities, if that makes any level of sense. But of course, this is not an incredibly fast vehicle. The speed that I'm going right now is pretty much where you're going to be topping out at. Typically, if I go much above 1.05 at around sea level, you start to get the reduced speed warnings. And of course, this is not going to be as fast as an F-104. You know, a lot of MiG-21s. It depends on the variant, of course. The SPS-K is going to be slower than this by a pretty decent margin. Now, that said, it has more or less totally just incredible flaps that can be activated more or less at any BR. Hopefully, I can hit him. I probably won't. I think maybe. There we go. Got myself a nice crit. He may be out for the count. I don't know. Should I go for him? I think I should. He's still fighting. As much as I hate to do that, it feels like a waste of a missile. If I don't do that, whoever this guy is in the GR1 would probably want to steal my kill. Now I've got guns. The guns on this are excellent. The main problem I have with the cannons on this vehicle simply has to do with the muzzle velocity. I'm not a fan of the muzzle velocity. See? Whoa, I am fudging that up. There we go. 2 kills. 2 kills, quick and easy. So I'll show you in just a second here, once I gain sufficient speed, about how good these flaps are. And then you can see for yourself. I really want to go for that F-86. You know what? I'm going to go for this AV-8A. I'm assuming it's the A, not the C. Just because everyone has the A, not the C. Ooh, that was ugly. Still have 130 something. So I just put my flaps on. I know, of course, it's not 1,000 kilometers per hour, but it does give you a little glimpse. The fact that that could handle 650 easily is excellent. Whoa, buddy. What just happened here? Put on these flaps. He's getting away from me. Woo! Don't have much left. So if he turns in, I may be able to get him, but I doubt it. Just gonna go for one more strafe. I might go for this F5 over here. Maybe the A10. Yeah, you know what? I'm going for the A10. I only got 20 round shots, 28 shots left. He wants some. Got him! Oh, buddy! Head on. Anyways, 3 kills, none too shabby. Didn't even have to use a single flare. Not too bad. This guy wants some, though. Turn in, got hit. That was a little ugly. Call for help, not gonna get it. Anyways, so that's actually a big weakness of this plane. Actually, now that I'm damaged, you'll probably see it. This plane, more than almost every other plane in War Thunder, look how much speed it loses. I mean, having any damage on this plane at all. I mean, of course, it doesn't help that my tail is completely wrecked. But even if you get any level of damage on this where it's still flight worthy, unlike what I have here, you will be flying. I mean, you almost won't be able to keep up. It is awful. But again, main strengths of this plane are its fantastic maneuverability, good missiles, good cannons, and of course, it's going to have a pretty good, I'd say middling acceleration, but pretty darn good. Now let's go into some of the weaknesses in the next match. Okay, so let's go over some of the weaknesses of this plane, and as you can see, I'm carrying bombs. These are 540-pound bombs, and I carry 8 of them. Now, one of the biggest weaknesses, I really wish I'd be going, you know what, I'm going to go for him. He's taking a really stupid turn, go for him. If he doesn't notice me, I should be able to get him. Yep, there we go. So one of the biggest weaknesses of this plane is just going to be the fact that, you know, of course, Ordnance really weighs down pretty much every plane that can carry it, but more so with this plane, I feel, than others, unfortunately. And a large part of that is simply because even with just 500-pound bombs, or 540-pound bombs, rather, it just has a tremendously difficult time carrying it. It's not like an F4, for example. I'm going for him. It's not like an F4, for example, that will have a relatively easy time carrying it because it's this big, heavy, ridiculously powerful plane. Rather, ooh, this is ugly. Rather, it kind of struggles. Now, it doesn't struggle on the same level that an A4 might struggle. So, you know, bear that in mind. It's not going to be quite as bad, but it does struggle. Additionally, I don't know if I mentioned it before, even though this has pretty good acceleration, you will struggle a little bit when it comes to regaining speed. And I've noticed that once these engines begin to overheat, so once they turn to orange, they feel like they lose a lot of their accelerational capability. This guy's really going for it. That was ugly on my part. Got 3 people on me. What they don't understand is that this is actually, again, quite a performer when it comes to maneuverability. Should be able to turn in on this MiG-21. Yes, I can. Just gotta pop off some flares here and there. Got him! Turn away, turn away, turn away. Got the kill. That MiG-20, or that MiG-19's kind of scaring me a little bit, though. Gonna have to turn down for what? There we go. MiG-19. It's not making me feel good. Does that MiG-19 have missiles? He might. That Mirage probably does. All I want to do is just survive until I can get this A5. I should be able to outrun... Nope, I can't outrun anyone. See, and that's what I mean. While you're going to typically be a pretty decent performer in terms of speed, acceleration, maneuverability, while this is one of the best maneuvering fighters in-game, especially for a two-engine fighter, especially for the fact that this is a strike fighter. For example, I couldn't have turned in on that MiG-19. I don't think I could have. That Mirage, probably, but when you have a Mirage and a MiG-19, it's not going to be a good time. Additionally, it's not going to have the same acceleration as the upper-end MiG-21s or one of the better Mirages out there. So you're going to be very good, and you can outturn F5Cs, for example. Typically, you can outturn some of the lesser-performing MiG-21s, typically, but you're not going to be able to outspeed X or Y plane or X or Y plane. Like, it's not the best in any one category. It's just really good in a lot of other categories, which allows you to pick and choose your fights. But of course, that makes it so that it's a little bit difficult, because if you have X or Y plane behind you, you're kind of almost at the mercy of whatever they decide to do. So that being said, let's get into one more match here. Of course, I think I did okay. 1,900 points, 1.2 tons of bombs dropped, and 2 kills. One final match, go over some real quick tactics with it for air RB, for air-to-air fights, and then that should be about it. As you can see, I do not have bombs in this, and the reason being is because you pretty much, in my opinion, in air RB, if you attach bombs to this, your chance of dying before you get a single kill is increased, like numerous times. It feels like it's increased 2, 3, or even 4 times over when you don't have bombs. As you can see, I'm at 3,000 meters, almost 1,100 kilometers per hour, and I am still this far from the base. Whereas before, in the other match, when I had even just 540-pound bombs, not even the 1,000-pound bombs, I was substantially slower, and I was much closer to the base. So, of course, like I said, it totally slows you down when any plane. Whether you're in an F4, you're going to be in an A4, it does not really matter. In F5 especially, but I find that, as one might imagine, the smaller that your plane is, the more that it will impact you. And this plane, thankfully, isn't all that small. It's got good thrust-to-weight ratio, but it's also not nearly going to be the most capable in that regard. I'm going to try to missile out this F4. Hopefully it does not go for my buddy. Hopefully. Doesn't matter. Got this A5 here. Try to gun him out. Not going to get him. And bear in mind, I've got an expert crew. Okay, slap on those flaps. Like I said, this thing is just phenomenal when it comes to handling. This A5 is not going to know I hit him. Okay. Everyone's getting gun kills here, I suppose. I'm going to go for this F4E down here. It doesn't look like I've got anyone behind me. He's going to get knocked out. No, maybe not. Hopefully he doesn't see me. Now, I may be able to intercept him if he stops moving so fast, or if he takes a turn, which he's doing. Perfect. F5s, or F4s rather, are like my perfect prey. Sweet. Okay, now I can just turn up, put those flaps on, get right off that ground. Like I said, it is just phenomenal how good this is. Now, when it comes to boom and zoom, or tactics, what I was going to say was, I like to do boom and zoom. It's one of my favorite things to do in this plane. I'm going to fire a missile at him. Now I'm going to do a head-on with him. I'm going to probably die here. Yep. But nice! 3 kills. 3 kills right there, guys. Not too bad, especially for a risky head-on. Everyone says do not do a full, I guess you could say, course or whatever it is, head-on. But you know what? I did it. I got 3 kills there. Not too shabby. I was trying to pull away at the end, but it is what it is. Now, just finally, just kind of finishing this off here, the Jaguar can more or less, in air-to-air combat, be played however you'd like. Now, personally, when I do not have bombs, I like to go up to between 2,500 and 4,000 meters. And at that range, I will be able to typically swoop down on people. Now, unless you're in a complete up tier, it's typically pretty safe to operate at those altitudes because you're not going to have a lot of radar-guided missiles fighting you. Now, there is a chance that you get to 11.0 BR Fighters Plus, which can certainly happen, but I'm typically not all too worried about those guys, because when those are actually pretty uncommon. Most of the time, I'm only in a mild up tier or even in a down tier when using this plane. And when you're in a down tier, you can play this however you'd like. But again, typically, I like to start off combat with a boom and zoom sort of roll, and then you could just kind of missile and gun people down however you'd like, because the maneuverability on this is so good that even if somebody gets on your tail and you're in a furball, you should still be able to target someone else and really take them out. Shouldn't be all too bad of a problem, kind of like what I did here. That being said, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Please like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the dealio, and I will see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.